One day you replay The Searchers, and your heart pauses. The desert winds, the haunting silence of Monument Valley, and John Wayne's distant stare, memories flood back like a forgotten dream. But have you ever wondered, where are the stars who made this masterpiece? Some vanished without a trace. Some died under mysterious circumstances. Some are still alive, but no one recognizes them anymore. Watch this video till the end to discover why they deserve to be remembered forever. How old were you when you first watched this film? Don't forget to subscribe and share your story with us. John Wayne.
Leave them carry on, they're hurt and dead.
Well, Reverend, that's Thursday.
In 1956, John Wayne played Ethan Edwards, a cold, conflicted Confederate veteran. In the film, Ethan returns home after the war and begins a journey to search for his niece Debbie, who was kidnapped by the Comanche. At 48 years old, Wayne embodied a hardened character, burdened with pain, prejudice, and the trauma of war. Ethan was not a typical hero. He was a loner, fueled by hatred toward Native Americans and unafraid to use violence. The relationship between Ethan and Martin Pawley, played by Jeffrey Hunter, his half-Native American adopted nephew, strongly reflected the racial tensions and inner conflict present in the film.
It's loaded.
John Wayne, born Marion Robert Morrison in 1907 in Iowa, was once a football player in his youth, but an injury forced him to give up that path. Before finding fame, Wayne worked as a laborer and assistant director, eventually getting his break in cinema through director John Ford. The Searchers marked a turning point in his career, helping him break away from the image of a simple cowboy and proving his ability to deliver complex, psychologically rich performances. After The Searchers, John Wayne continued to dominate the screen with roles in Rio Bravo, 1959, The Alamo, 1960, The Green Berets, 1968, and especially True Grit, 1969. A performance that earned him the only Best Actor Oscar of his career.
John Wayne in True Grit.
Although diagnosed with lung cancer in 1964, he returned to filming just months after surgery. Near the end of his life, he starred in The Shootist, 1976, portraying a dying gunfighter, a role that mirrored his own declining health. Wayne's personal life was also filled with ups and downs. He went through 3 marriages and had 7 children, including Patrick Wayne, who followed in his father's footsteps. A staunch conservative, Wayne supported the Vietnam War and sparked controversy with his political remarks. He died on June 11, 1979, from stomach cancer at the age of 72. He was buried at Pacific View Memorial Park in Newport Beach, California. At the time of his death, his estate was estimated at $7 million, but the John Wayne brand continues to generate millions annually through films, books, and memorabilia. Despite controversies, Wayne remains one of the greatest legends in American film history. Jeffrey Hunter.
I'm gonna take you away. I'm gonna get you out of here, Debbie.
Yes, Marty.
Jeffrey Hunter portrayed Martin Pawley, a young man of partial Native American descent adopted into the Edwards family. At the time of filming, Hunter was just 29 years old, a stark contrast to John Wayne's 48. Martin serves as a moral compass. Torn between 2 worlds, he embodies empathy and youthful idealism. Initially dismissed by Ethan Edwards, Martin gradually earns his uncle's reluctant respect. His presence tempers Ethan's hatred and prevents him from crossing the line into complete savagery. Martin's compassion and unwavering loyalty become crucial as they search for Debbie. More than a sidekick, Martin is the soul of the story, representing reconciliation in a film steeped in vengeance. Hunter's performance, marked by restraint and sincerity, stood out amidst a cast dominated by hardened Western archetypes. His role offered a rare moment of tenderness in an otherwise gritty narrative. Without Martin, Ethan's journey would be purely destructive. With him, it's painfully redemptive. Hunter gave Martin vulnerability and quiet strength, elevating the film's emotional resonance. Jeffrey Hunter, born Henry Herman McKinney's Jr. in 1926 in Louisiana, grew up in a middle-class family and studied drama at UCLA. He served in the U.S. Navy and gained fame in the 1950s thanks to his handsome looks and piercing blue eyes. Following The Searchers, Hunter landed the iconic role of Jesus Christ in King of Kings, 1961, which earned him global recognition. However, his career hit a roadblock after he turned down the lead role in the original pilot of Star Trek in 1964, a decision that many believe cost him lasting stardom. In his personal life, Hunter went through 3 divorces, including a high-profile marriage with actress Barbara Rush. In 1969, while filming in Spain, he suffered a head injury on set. Weeks later, he collapsed at his California home from a cerebral hemorrhage and died on May 27, 1969, at just 42 years old. He was buried at Glen Haven Memorial Park. At the time of his death, his net worth was estimated to be around $400,000. Vera Miles.
Is Laurie Jorgensen, who is exquisitely played by Vera Miles. In the story is a love interest for Martin, and she is to an extent relationship.
In 1956, at 27 years old, Vera Miles portrayed Laurie Jorgensen in The Searchers, directed by John Ford. Laurie, the sweetheart of Martin Pawley, is both resilient and warm-hearted. She represents peace, stability, and a possible future. Martin risks losing forever if consumed by vengeance. Although not a central action figure, Laurie's presence embodies emotional balance and moral clarity. Born as Vera June Ralston on August 23, 1929 in Oklahoma, she came from a working-class family. Before acting, she worked as a telephone operator and part-time model. Her poised demeanor earned her the runner-up title in Miss America 1948, which opened doors to Hollywood. John Ford saw in her the ideal frontier woman, composed yet emotionally rich. Although originally cast as the lead in Vertigo, 1958, Miles was replaced due to pregnancy. Still, her unforgettable role as Lila Crane in Psycho, 1960, solidified her as a powerful screen presence. She never sought the limelight, earning admiration for her privacy and integrity. Vera married 4 times and raised 4 children, including actor Michael Burns. By the late 1980s, she had retired from film, choosing a reclusive life in California. She declined reunion appearances and interviews, preserving her mystique as a Golden Age icon. As of July 2025, Vera Miles is 95 years old. Her net worth is estimated at $2 million, modest by Hollywood standards, but her legacy in films like The Searchers and Psycho remains enduring and deeply respected. Ward Bond. In The Searchers, 1956, Ward Bond, aged 52 at the time, portrayed Reverend Captain Samuel Clayton, a hybrid character who served as both a preacher and a Texas Ranger. Gruff, principled, and often blunt, Clayton injected authority and dry wit into the narrative, acting as a moral compass amidst the chaos. His complex relationship with Ethan Edwards oscillated between disapproval and camaraderie, contributing to the film's tension and depth. Born Wardell Edwin Bond on April 9, 1903, in Nebraska, he came from a middle-class family. A former USC football player, he formed a lifelong friendship with John Wayne, which translated into frequent collaborations on screen. Known for his commanding presence and distinctive voice, Bond appeared in over 250 films. Beyond film, Ward Bond gained immense popularity as the lead in the TV series Wagon Train, 1957 to 1960, playing trail boss Major Seth Adams. His commanding role became a Western television staple. Yet despite professional success, his life ended unexpectedly. On November 5, 1960, Bond died of a heart attack in a Dallas hotel at the age of 57. Married twice and childless, Bond was known for his conservative views, bluntness, and fierce loyalty. Though often perceived as rough-edged, friends described him as deeply reliable. Despite his fame, he shunned Hollywood's glitz, preferring a quieter, private lifestyle. Ward Bond was buried at Forest Lawn Memorial Park in Glendale, California. At the time of his death, his net worth was estimated at $1 million, a considerable amount in 1960, reflecting his enduring presence in both film and early television history. Natalie Wood. At just 18 years old, Natalie Wood played Debbie Edwards, the kidnapped niece of Ethan Edwards, John Wayne, in The Searchers. Debbie's innocence and resilience were central to the film's emotional core, as her character's abduction and eventual rescue drove the entire narrative. Wood portrayed Debbie as a young woman caught between two worlds, one of her Comanche captors and another of her white family that may no longer accept her. Born Natalia Nikolaevna Zakharenko. On July 20, 1938, in San Francisco, Natalie came from Russian immigrant parents. Starting as a child actress at age 4, she was already a seasoned performer by the time she joined The Searchers. Her family struggled financially, and Natalie was the main breadwinner by age 10. Before The Searchers, she starred in the Christmas classic Miracle on 34th Street, 1947, and her breakout teen role came soon after in Rebel Without a Cause, 1955, opposite James Dean. Natalie was praised for her emotional depth and screen charisma, which made her one of the most promising young actresses of her era. After The Searchers, Natalie rose to superstardom with hits like West Side Story, 1961, and Splendor in the Grass, 1961. Her life, however, was shadowed by intense media scrutiny, a troubled marriage to actor Robert Wagner, twice, and personal battles with anxiety. On November 29, 1981, Natalie tragically drowned near Catalina Island at just 43 years old, under mysterious circumstances during a boat trip with Wagner and actor Christopher Walken. The case remains controversial and was reopened decades later. She is buried at Westwood Village Memorial Park Cemetery in Los Angeles. At the time of her death, her net worth was estimated at $2.5 million, a substantial figure reflecting her Hollywood success. Despite her untimely death, Natalie remains a symbol of classic Hollywood beauty and talent, her legacy immortalized in film history. Carey Jr. At age 34, Carey Jr. played Brad Jorgensen, a young idealistic cowboy in love with Lucy Edwards, niece of Ethan, John Wayne. Brad's role was small but emotionally pivotal. His anguish over Lucy's fate after her kidnapping added a layer of heartbreak to the film. His character's tragic impulsiveness, especially during the Comanche raid scene, served as a cautionary thread in the story. Born Henry George Carey Jr. on May 16, 1921, in Saugus, California, he was the son of silent Western legend Harry Carey Sr. and actress Olive Carey. Raised on a ranch and in Hollywood, he grew up immersed in Western culture and filmmaking. During World War II, he served in the U.S. Navy as a medical corpsman. Before The Searchers, Carey had already made his mark in John Ford's stock company, appearing in Three Godfathers, 1948, and She Wore a Yellow Ribbon, 1949. Known for his authenticity and low-key charisma, he was often cast as dependable young cowboys or military men. He brought real frontier grit to the screen without ever overshadowing co-stars. After The Searchers, Carey continued working steadily, appearing in over 90 films and TV shows. He was known as one of Hollywood's most reliable Western character actors. Later credits include Tombstone, 1993, and Back to the Future, Part 3, 1990. He also authored Company of Heroes, 1994, a memoir about working with John Ford and John Wayne. His marriage to Marilyn Fix lasted 68 years and they had 4 children. He avoided scandals, embracing a quiet ranch life when not acting. Despite the decline of westerns in the late 1970s, he remained a sought-after figure at film festivals and retrospectives. Carey Jr. passed away on December 27, 2012, at age 91 in Santa Barbara, California, of natural causes. He was cremated and his ashes scattered on the family ranch. At the time of his passing, his net worth was estimated at $1.5 million. He remains beloved by classic Western fans as a symbol of loyalty, humility, and enduring cowboy spirit. Pippa Scott. In 1956, at just 21 years old, Pippa Scott portrayed Lucy Edwards, the niece of Ethan Edwards, John Wayne, in The Searchers. Though her screen time was brief, Lucy's abduction by Comanche raiders triggered the film's entire plot, a relentless, years-long quest for redemption, justice, and family. Her character symbolized lost innocence, and her fate underscored the tragedy of vengeance. Lucy was romantically involved with Brad Jorgensen, Carey Jr., which deepened the emotional stakes of her disappearance. Born November 10, 1934, in Los Angeles, Scott came from a distinguished Hollywood lineage. Her father, Alan Scott, was a screenwriter, and her mother, Laura Straub, a stage actress. Educated at Radcliffe College, UCLA, and RADA in London, Scott won a Theatre World Award for her Broadway debut. The Searchers marked her first film role and launched her into Hollywood's spotlight. Following The Searchers, Pippa Scott enjoyed a versatile career. She starred in films like Auntie Mame, 1958, and Petulia, 1968, and appeared in numerous television series, including The Twilight Zone, Columbo, and Perry Mason. Her performances reflected intelligence, elegance, and range. In 1964, she married TV producer Lee Rich, had 2 daughters, and later divorced in 1983. But the two remained close until Rich died in 2012. Beyond acting, Scott became a committed activist. In 1993, she founded the International Monitor Institute, an NGO archiving war crimes evidence from Bosnia, Rwanda, and beyond. In 2006, her co-produced documentary King Leopold's Ghost won at the Santa Barbara International Film Festival. She took minor roles afterward: Footprints, 2009, Automotive, 2013, before quietly retiring. Pippa Scott passed away peacefully on May 22, 2025, aged 90, from congenital heart failure at her Santa Monica home. Her estimated net worth at death ranged between $2 to $5 million. Despite avoiding the limelight in later years, her legacy in film and activism endures, admired for both talent and conscience. Lana Wood. In 1956, 9-year-old Lana Wood made her film debut as young Debbie Edwards, the kidnapped child whose fate sets the entire movie in motion. Her brief screen presence catalyzes Ethan Edwards' relentless pursuit. Although her sister Natalie played Debbie in later scenes, Lana's portrayal anchored the emotional core. Born Svetlana Lisa Gurdon on March 1, 1946, in Santa Monica, California, she came from a modest Russian-American family. At her casting, John Ford and John Wayne welcomed her without an audition. Wayne famously lifted her to test if he could carry the child during shooting. She fondly recalled sharing hard candy with him. Though on screen for only a few minutes, Lana's performance left a lasting impression. This debut launched a long Hollywood career. Her appearance as Debbie made a young child into part of a cinematic legend and introduced her to audiences worldwide. After The Searchers, Lana Wood rose to fame as Sandy Weber on the TV series Peyton Place from 1966 to 1968. In 1971, she earned international recognition as Plenty O'Toole, the Bond girl in Diamonds Are Forever. That same year, she appeared in Playboy magazine's April issue, featuring her poetry. Her personal life included 6 marriages, 2 annulled, and 1 son, Evan Taylor Smedley, 1974 to 2017. She had high-profile relationships with stars such as Sean Connery and Warren Beatty, though she had no other children. Her acting roles declined through the 1980s and early 2000s, limited to low-budget independent films. Lana authored the controversial memoir, Natalie, a memoir by her sister in 2002, and produced the TV documentary The Mystery of Natalie Wood in 2004. Multiple sources estimate her net worth to be around $5 million as of 2025. Preferring privacy, she rarely gives interviews but occasionally appears at tribute events. That young girl in The Searchers has since become a persistent face in Hollywood folklore, leaving a legacy both on screen and in the written word. Every cast member of The Searchers, 1956, played a vital role in shaping one of Hollywood's most iconic masterpieces. While many of them are no longer with us, their legacy continues to shine in the hearts of film lovers worldwide. They were more than actors. They were symbols of a golden era. If you notice any factual errors, we warmly welcome your feedback to help us improve future videos. Thank you for watching and supporting Hollywood Movie Stars, your home for honoring the legends of classic cinema.